Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So in this video we're going to be making an updated Celestial Hypogean priority tier list. Now that Contess has been out for a while, I can safely put her in the position I believe she belongs. Okay, so we're going to lead it off with the first category, which is the major category for a lot of players, which is Dream Realm, because this generates the most rewards, resources for your account when you rank highly in it. Now the twins are still the top Celestial Hypogean to build for new players and for everyone, because they have great Dream Realm usage throughout every single phase of the season. Pre-endless and even endless Dream Realm bosses, the twins are used in almost every team, every boss, other than like Blightshroom when there's energy denial. So twins are still the most important Celestial Hypogean everyone should build, and they are the best buffers in the game. However, after this, I'm putting Contess as number 2 in Dream Realm priority. One reason for that is she's just recently come out, so I think that she will have some long-term value. And number 2, in endless difficulty Dream Realm bosses, so mainly phase 3 of Dream Realm, she is really dominating and allowing you to create big score gaps compared to people who don't have Contess. So for right now, she is the top Celestial Hypogean debuffer in the game, and we don't even know what we can expect from her in the earlier phases, phase 1 and phase 2, because we haven't actually seen her that much in those phases or any at all in phase 1. So if she even has some usage there, then she's going to be even more important to build on your account. But in endless difficulty especially, no other hero in the game provides an HP loss boosting debuff, and she's the only one that does it, and that is why she's going to be in almost every boss's top team for all of phase 3, basically for every season. She's basically, yeah, she's going to be a staple, and she's a supportive hero, which means that even if a better damage dealer comes out in the future, you're still going to be running Contess in endless difficulty of Dream Realm. Then we have Aliceth as number 3. Aliceth also is very strong, don't get me wrong, she's a very good hero to still have built on your account for endless difficulty, and even for phase 2 endless specifically, which was like kind of that mid endless level of bosses. She was in all at one point 8 out of 8 Dream Realm boss top teams, and now for phase 3 when we're deeper into endless, when we have Contess as well, Aliceth does have good synergy with Contess, but Aliceth will not be in every boss's top team. Sometimes it'll be better to have Baelran, sometimes it will be better to have just a team with Galahad and Contess, but for the most part, you're going to have Aliceth used a lot as well. So Aliceth, a really important hero. She is the best damage dealer as Celestial Hypogean for Dream Realm for right now, but she's only for endless difficulty, not for pre-endless, but you have more of the whole season in endless, because even in phase 2, you make it into endless, and that's why she's going to be really important. Then we have Gunnar as number 4. So the thing about Gunnar is he can work at 1 copy. He's really one of those only Celestial Hypogeans that do somewhat well even at 1 copy. Now, of course, if you want to get your maximum potential score, you'll need to fully build up Gunnar, and eventually everyone should prioritize fully building up Gunnar, but it's just interesting that 1 copy actually is sometimes still going to be your best team option. So Gunnar is really good for pre-endless Dream Realm, for early endless, and now when we're getting deeper into endless, we're in phase 3, Gunnar is still having usage like in the Glue Mob boss, maybe 1 or 2 other bosses. He might be in some of the top teams, but yeah, Gunnar is not going to be the best for endless difficulty. However, I think for pre-endless Dream Realm, I'm expecting him to be the basically buffer of choice, and probably he may even be replacing Reinier in pre-endless Dream Realm. And so I think, again, for long-term value, because Gunnar has recently been released and he is strong for Dream Realm, it's probably a good idea to be building up Gunnar rather than some of the older Celestial Hypogeans. Then we have Aurora, which everyone got for free, but you do want to fully invest into her exclusive equipment all the way up to plus 20, plus 25, because she's really good for Dream Realm. Multiple boss top teams, especially for pre-endless Dream Realm, for early endless. Now, when we're getting deep into endless, like phase 3, it's probably only going to be Doom Scourge, maybe Blightshroom, maybe 1 or like 2 to 3 bosses potentially where Aurora is going to be top, but that is more than enough value to basically be fully investing into her. She's a really good Dream Realm hero, and she also came out this season. And when you look at the seasonal releases for Celestial Hypogeans this season, Contess, Gunnar, and Aurora, they're all basically at the top. They were all Dream Realm heroes, all very important. Then you have Baelran. Now, Baelran now has become like a hero which is, a lot of people who've been playing for a long time, they would have Baelran built. However, newer players, you cannot really just prioritize Baelran because you have other heroes to be building. However, Baelran is going to see good usage for endless, like phase 3 endless difficulty for Glue Mob boss, maybe Magmazard, maybe Blightshroom, maybe like basically 2 to 3 bosses again potentially that Baelran could be in the top team. But it isn't going to be as much overall usage in Dream Realm compared to Aliceth. And so Aliceth still is the damage dealer priority compared to Baelran. And Aurora, probably when you consider the fact that Aurora also has great pre-endless Dream Realm usage, she probably has more overall usage in Dream Realm compared to Baelran. That's why Baelran is lower than her. But Baelran still is an important hero. He's also good for AFK stages. He's an all-around good hero, but he's just not as good or important to be building as like Aliceth or the other priorities you have now. But he is next in line after you have these other heroes built. Then I put Reinier pretty far down here, and the reason for that is Reinier has had a long time. Reinier was a global launch hero, and as time goes on, he's getting closer and closer to being actually completely power crept out of the meta. And especially now the release of Gunnar, we did see Gunnar a lot in pre-endless Dream Realm and even outperforming the Reinier teams. And so I'm expecting maybe in phase 1 of the next season, it could be the point where Gunnar is just going to outshine Reinier and make Reinier like in the second or third best team options. And if that ever does become the case, then that means Reinier is no longer a priority for new players to be building, because basically it means that Reinier has had his time. He is shown really bright for like the last 2 years, but now is a time where he is falling off. And so yeah, he only needs Mythic Plus Reinier. That's one good thing about him to be functional, have his debuff value, but it still is too much of an investment to really warrant it at this current state in time, because he just doesn't have enough Dream Realm usage. And most likely, yeah. And also in endless difficulty, of course, Reinier is not used because his debuff is only applying for pre-endless, really. Then you have Harak. Harak is a hero for Necrodrake and boss, and he is going to be in the 12 team along with Contess. You guys, it wasn't yet, but once we get Mythic Charms next week, he is going to be in the 12 team. But the problem with that is Necrodrake has been around for, I believe, 2, maybe 3 seasons in a row, which means it's almost definitely going to be replaced for another boss. And unless there's a specific boss that just like is perfect for Harak, Harak is not going to see usage because other teams are just doing better than Harak, because Harak does devour your own allies. There's anti-synergy there, and in terms of his damage output, it isn't even really on par with even a hero like Aliceth. It's only in those really niche bosses like Necrodraken where heroes like Aliceth, Baelran, they don't function well, and so Harak basically with his mobility is able to like get the top spot there. So yeah, Harak is really low on the priority list. Again, not a hero new players should really be building up right now. And Phraesto is very similar. Phraesto so far hasn't been really in any top Dream Realm teams. In Titan Reavers he is used, but you can even make use of him with lower copies, 1 copy, low investment. Now, of course, if you want to min-max everything for Ravage Realm, for Titan Reavers, then you will want to build Phraesto, you will want to build Harak, because they're still going to be probably the best options there. However, that isn't enough. Like, the rewards you get from Titan Reaver Ravage Realm are not enough to warrant, like, fully building out Celestial Hypogean just for the sake of that. And so that's why these heroes should be left behind. And as time goes on, it's just more and more likely that they're going to be replaced by newer and shinier and better options. Okay, so that's it for Dream Realm. Moving on to AFK stages, we have Saida, who is the queen of AFK stages. She is still on that throne, and she is really, like, if you want to push hard in AFK stages, you need to Supreme Plus Saida, plus 15 or higher exclusive equipment. And then she's going to really carry you in AFK stages. But along with her, Alna is basically the right-hand man of Saida, because Alna is a great support for Saida, giving that invincibility and allowing Saida to more easily get off her 3 ultimates. You're going to see Alna and Saida a lot together in AFK stages, especially like the high deficit stages. And so having both of them is really great. And also, they're both really still good in PvP. They're both like top tier in PvP as well. And then we have Mehira. So Mehira is a hero for AFK stages. She works at 1 copy, but for maximum value and for some specific stages, you'll want to have her fully built up, even Supreme Plus. And then Mehira also has occasionally some Dream Realm usage. We haven't really seen it so far yet, but as you go deeper into Endless, Phase 3 Endless, you're going to see Mehira rising up into Dream Realm, and that's why I'm just hovering her over here. She would be around this priority level of Baelran in terms of just purely for Dream Realm, but because she also has AFK stage use, Baelran also has AFK stage use, but like, Mehira is, yeah, really similar in terms of priority compared to Baelran. It's up to you which one you want to build first. And yeah, both are good, but both are not necessarily top tier. But for AFK stages, if you're a serious hard pusher, you need to fully build up Mehira. And then coming to Kulu, Kulu is also a hero which is used for AFK stages. She's used at one copy. It works. However, again, if you're pushing the highest deficit stages, you're a cutting edge stage pusher. You want to compete for top 1 in your server district. You'll probably need to fully commit and build up Kulu as well, because there are going to be some stages where Kulu needs to be fully built all the way to Supreme or Supreme Plus. So there we have it for AFK stages. Moving on to PvP, there's just really 3 leftover heroes. Like, obviously there are other heroes which work in PvP, like Saida, like Alna, like Gunnar, like even Contess, and then the PvP tier in its own. But the PvP tier is exclusively PvP oriented heroes, not for any other game mode. Dunlingr is still going to be the best in this tier because he can block enemy ultimates or he can block the healing. That is massive utility for PvP. So for a regular arena, you're probably always going to be running him, and Supreme Arena, you're always going to try to make one comp around him. And so Dunlingr is very top tier PvP investment, but he's a purely PvP hero. Athalia is a good PvP hero, but I'm finding that Athalia is falling off a bit now that we are into more of a stall meta. You have heroes like Alna, Gunnar, Celise, you have here Saida, heroes which are unkillable, and so even if you're running the Athalia in there, Athalia just keeps jumping around, dashing, poking the enemy, but not really actually killing anyone. So in a stall meta, Athalia does really bad. Athalia needs to have like a weaker, squishier enemy team where Athalia actually has the potential of nuking off enemies and allowing you to fight like 5v4 or 5v3. But Athalia is not able to do that against stall. So Athalia is falling off to an extent. And then we have Cryonaia, who is still a great hyper carry. If she's able to get off her ultimate, she can, completely destroy or basically turn into ice sculptures those heroes which otherwise could be very annoying for you, like Saida on the battlefield, like Athalia, like heroes which have multiple lives. Basically, Cryonaia is just going to, it's a foolproof way of eliminating those heroes from the battle. However, the problem is Cryonaia herself has survival issues. Number 2, if the enemy is running a Dunlingr, they're just going to prevent your Cryonaia from getting off ultimate. And then, yeah, and so for those reasons, a lot of top tier meta teams are not susceptible to being cleared that effectively by Cryonaia. And also, if the enemy has an Alna plus another carry who's pretty tanky, those heroes are not going to be easily frozen on the first ultimate of Cryonaia. Cryonaia will have to get off her second ultimate to even try to finish people off, and by that point, Cryonaia might be dead. So for all of those reasons, Cryonaia I would not really recommend like as a top tier PvP investment, neither even Athalia right now. I still think Dunlingr is going to have long-term value, but like these Athalia and Cryonaia, even though they're good, they're definitely usable, I wouldn't say they're SS tier. Like maybe they are still S tier or like A tier if that's how you want to compare it, but they are not the top tier, the pinnacle of PvP, which in my opinion are Alna, Dunlingr, Gunnar, and potentially Saida. Those would be the pinnacle of PvP right now, and Athalia and Cryonaia are not quite there. And then we have the skip tier heroes, which are just not worth building up. Talene, the only thing to note about her is she does have usage for King Croaker Dream on boss, but you can use Thorin or Saida as well. I don't know if having the Talene necessarily is going to be a huge boost in score compared to the others, and even if it is probably going to be a minor boost, right? It's not really worth building up a Celestial Hypogean just for very, very niche usage. Apart from that, for PvP, Talene has major issues. She's hard countered by Cryonaia, and even if the enemy doesn't have Cryonaia, Talene just keeps getting killed easily. She used to be, like, when she was released, which was a year and a half plus ago, then she had stall factor, she had damage kill threat, but now she just doesn't have that. She's not as good as other stallers. She's not as big of a kill threat as other heroes, so she's just not good enough on the team. Dionel has major issues because he's a very ultimate based nuker. He is similar to Cryonaia in that regard. They both have survival issues before they can get off an ultimate. If you prevent him from casting an ultimate, like with a Dunlingr on the enemy team, Dionel becomes a sitting duck and basically similar to the Cryonaia. And Dionel's nuke, which is not based on ultimate, because he also has nuking damage apart from his ultimate, it is not enough damage to actually nuke enemy teams, especially if they're tanky, especially if they have stall in them. And so Dionel just doesn't have the firepower anymore. Scarlita is like, Scarlita can be used in stall comps, again, for PvP, and stall comps are rising up, so Scarlita's value has risen slightly. However, it's still not enough value to actually be building her. Even for PvP, it's just like for the players who have Scarlita built, you can try running her in a PvP team. Other than that, there's no point, because again, I do not consider her a top tier PvP hero, and she only works in stall comps, and they're probably a better option rather than her, because she forces your team to fight a 4v5, which is awkward. And then you have Berial, which is the most useless hero in the game. No meta usage in Dream Realm, PvP, AFK stages. So he's a completely passable hero. Don't even bother even thinking about investing into him. And that is basically it, guys. So that is what we have for the rundown of the current Celestial Hypogeans. We're not going to be getting another Celestial Hypogean until the beginning of Season 7. So this is basically going to be locked in up until that point in time. But again, the thing you have to realize is with each season, the Celestial Hypogeans become stronger and stronger. If you look at the Celestial Hypogeans that have been released more recently, we have Contess, we have Gunnar, we have Aliceth, we have Aurora, we have Saida, we have Alna, Mehira. All of the recent heroes are always going to be on the top priority of these lists, because we have ordered each of these categories from left being most important and right being least important. So you're going to notice is a clear trend of new heroes power creeping out the older heroes. And so that is the other thing. You only want to invest into the most value heroes for right now, because those are the ones who are going to have the most long-term value. The heroes which are right on the edge here, for example, Phraesto, Harak, even Reinier, Cryonaia, Athalia, maybe even Kulu at this point. These are the heroes which you really probably want to stay away from, because like you don't know how long term these heroes are actually going to even be useful for you, and eventually there's going to come a day where they're going to be in the skip tier of these tier lists. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this video. If you have any other opinions, you can feel free to share them in the comment section. And if you're going to be summoning for Contess or any other hero, good luck on your pulls. Hopefully you can dodge pity as much as possible. But thank you guys all so much for watching. That is going to be it for this video. And if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.